All flames, scissor racks on the grill.
Slavery was bad and all, but reparations just aren't realistic. The fact is reparations are realistic, but people love to shut down the conversation around reparations in one of three ways, by saying that there's nothing that needs to be repaired, that it's too expensive, or that it's impossible or impractical. So let's debunk each one and get smarter in seconds. First, there is a lot that needs to be repaired, especially in the context of the United States, but right now we're going to focus on chattel enslavement. Reparations can include direct payments, scholarships, policy changes, government subsidies, or the return of bodies, art, artifacts, or land by a government or institution to an individual or community that has been harmed or wronged in the past. It's estimated that the United States benefited from over 222 million hours of forced labor between 1619 and 1865 when chattel slavery ended. That adds up to $100 trillion in unpaid wages. Now, that lost wealth, combined with policy decisions like Jim Crow, redlining, segregation, and mass incarceration, has resulted in a vast racial wealth gap between African American families and white American families. Not to mention the fact that programs like the GI Bill that were supposed to help all Americans build wealth specifically discriminated against African Americans. This brings us to the second point about reparations being too expensive. And economists estimate that a reparations bill of just $14 trillion could totally eliminate the racial wealth gap. I will admit that is a lot of money, but the context here is that the United States military already spends nearly $1 trillion each year on defense spending. So if a reparations program was enacted over a period of years, this is very attainable. We have already allotted trillions of dollars for war, bank bailouts, tax cuts for the wealthiest among us, and COVID relief. And think about the amount of taxpayer dollars that are already going to other countries for their endless war. We should keep in mind that the reason we have all of this wealth to begin with is because of the forced enslaved labor that we profited from for centuries. The fact that so many descendants of enslaved African Americans are living in poverty today is a policy decision. Now, maybe you're like the person at the beginning where you believe that slavery was a huge wrong that should be repaired, but that reparations are just impossible. Well, this third point is for you. You should know that the United States and many other countries have already paid reparations many, many times. Maybe you need some proof. Don't worry, I got you. In 1988, the United States government paid $20,000 to each Japanese American survivor of Japanese incarceration during World War II. And in 1971, the Alaska Native Claims Settlement Act returned 44 million acres to Native Alaskans, along with nearly $1 billion. And in 1994, Florida paid reparations to survivors of the 1923 Rosewood Massacre, a racist attack that destroyed an entire African American community. If we've done reparations before, we can do them again. The question was never if reparations were practical, the question is whether we will prioritize them. So, we've debunked the three biggest arguments against reparations. Does this change the way you see reparations? If you want to learn more, head to repair-is.org.
Smarter in seconds.